Thank you for calling the Versant Testing System. Please enter your test identification number on the telephone keypad. Now, please say your name.
Rodrigo.
Now, please say the city and country you are calling from.
El Salvador, San Salvador.
This telephone call is too noisy. We may have a bad telephone connection, or there may be noise nearby. Now, please say the city and country you are calling from.
El Salvador, San Salvador.
Now, please follow the instructions for parts A through F. Part A, reading. Please read the sentences as you are instructed. Now read sentence 7.
His friend said he needed to borrow $1,000 for a few weeks.
Now read sentence 10.
He doesn't really understand the purpose of the paper.
Please read sentence 1.
Until 2 years ago, the lot across from my house was completely empty.
Now read sentence 8.
Paul was disappointed and decided not to answer at all.
Please read sentence 11.
He can't help but wonder if other students are having a difficult time too.
Now read sentence 4.
Now it's very noisy, especially on weekends.
Now please read sentence 9.
Richard has been struggling with the writing assignment.
Now read sentence 12.
Perhaps if he talks to them, he can get a clearer idea of what's expected.
Part B, repeat. Please repeat each sentence that you hear. For example, a voice says,
"Leave town on the next train."
and you say,
Leave town on the next train.
Why didn't you say so?
Why didn't you say so?
In order to be successful, you must believe in yourself.
In order to be successful, you must believe in yourself.
For more information, contact your local library.
For more information, contact your local library.
You could see for miles.
You could see it from miles.
We should all go out and have a good time.
We should all go out and have a good time.
I thought that the train would be here by now.
I thought that the train will be here by now.
Please rewrite this paper by next Tuesday.
Please rewrite this paper by next Tuesday.
Once you start the game, the main menu will appear.
Once you start the game, the main menu will appear.
I've been with the company for 4.5 years now.
I've been with the company for 4.5 years now.
Do you have a preference as to what we do first?
Do you have a preference to what we do first?
Who do you want to speak to?
Who do you want to speak to?
Fewer students took his history course this term.
Fewer students took the history course this month.
Apparently, the promotion was a complete surprise to Lisa.
Apparently, the promotion was a complete surprise to Lisa.
Tickets for tonight's show are still available at the theater.
Tickets for tonight's show are still available at the theater.
Payment is due by the 15th.
10 minutes to go to the 15th.
Stir the mixture gently until it begins to boil.
Stir the mixture gently until it begins to boil.
Part C. Questions. Now, please just give a simple answer to the questions. For example, a voice says,
Would you get water from a bottle or a newspaper?
and you say,
A bottle.
or,
From a bottle.
When you place a bet, are you gambling or painting?
Gambling.
In a room, would a person use a towel or a carpet to cover the floor?
Carpet. A
A
carpet.
basketball team requires 5 players. How many players are needed for 4 teams?
20 players.
What device do you use to take someone's temperature?
A thermometer.
What's the external covering of a tree called?
Wood.
If Chris wanted to go fishing, should he go to a highway or a lake?
He should go to a lake.
Should you bring a tent or an airplane when you go camping?
A tent.
Pete has extensive knowledge of legal terms. Does he work for a clothing store or a law firm?
She works at a law firm.
The burglar confessed to the break-ins. Did he admit to them or did he deny doing them?
He admit to them.
Michelle loves dessert. Does she think ice cream is delicious or awful?
It's delicious.
If someone asks you to stick around, do they want you to stay or leave?
They want you to stay.
Which is usually bigger, a castle or a cottage?
A castle.
During a power failure in the afternoon, would you watch TV or read a book?
Watch TV.
Are slippers or boots more sensible to wear when hiking in the mountains?
Slippers.
If traveling is a burden, is it troublesome or easy?
Troublesome.
Pat does 4 loads of laundry a week. How many does she do in 2 weeks?
8.
They were given the royal treatment. Were they well cared for or ignored?
Well cared.
Which is a physical object? Luck or a stone?
Stone.
At the party, Chelsea avoided Jake. Did she stay away from him or help him?
She stayed away from him.
To throw a ball, would you use your hand or foot?
Your hand.
Isabella just turned 102. Is she young or old?
She is old.
Can you usually go faster on foot or in a car?
In a car.
Are shrimp, crab, and scallops seafood or recordings?
Seafood.
To repair a broken piece of china, should Mark use a pulley or use glue?
Glue.
Part D. Sentence builds. Now please rearrange the word groups into a sentence. For example, a voice says,
Was reading. My mother. Her favorite magazine.
and you say,
My mother was reading her favorite magazine. With my dog. I was walking. In the park.
I was walking with my dog at the park.
Buy. Food. Some.
Buy some food.
Will not be. This solution. Very effective.
This solution will not be very effective.
More than 2 weeks. And still have nothing. We have waited.
We have waited for more than 2 weeks and we have nothing.
Kept us. The 2 actors. Entertained.
The 2 actors kept us entertained.
The new owner. To join the crew. Invited his sister.
The new owner invited his sister to join the crew.
Go there again. He swore. He'd never.
He swore he would never kill again.
Dogs can provide. Against intruders. Some protection.
Dogs can provide some protections from intruders.
Affected her deeply. The natural beauty of the rose garden.
The rose garden affected her deeply.
The police requested from the witness a detailed description.
The police requested from the witness a detailed description.
Part E. Story retellings. You will hear 3 brief stories. Each story will be spoken once, followed by a beep. When you hear the beep, you will have 30 seconds to retell the story in English. Try to retell as much of the story as you can, including the situation, characters, actions, and ending. You will hear another beep at the end of the 30 seconds.
Joseph has an unusual pet. His pet is a small brown rock. He often carries it around with him when he is at home. His friend asked him why he didn't have a dog or a cat as a pet. He replied that he doesn't have to feed his rock, so it is very easy to take care of it. His friend thought it was better to have a real live animal for a pet.
Joshua, he has an unusual pet. His pet is brown colored and sometimes is very crazy, right? He carries it everywhere and he loves his pet. He likes playing around with him around the house, and they usually go to the mall, and he has a friend, and his friend thought that it was better for him to have a real pet than an unreal pet. They also like to go to swim at night.
Jim was driving to work. Right in front of him, a sports car ran into another car. Fortunately, no one was injured, but the cars could not be moved off the road for almost an hour. Jim had to sit behind the cars and wait for a tow truck to come.
Jim was going to work. When he was going to work, a car ran into his car and they had a car accident, right? When that happened, Jim was super worried because he thought they was not going to make it to his work. So he had to sit behind the car and wait for a towel to move his car. But then he decided to call his boss and tell him that he had had an accident and that's why he was...
Kate went to buy a piano. She saved up for 3 years and finally had enough money. Just before she left for the music store, Kate's friend called her and said that Kate could have her piano because she was moving to a new house. Kate was very excited. She got her friend's piano for free and spent her money on piano lessons.
Kate, she was a girl that she wanted a piano, right? Because she had always liked to play the piano. So she was saving a lot of money to buy this piano, and she had this neighbor whom had a piano. So at the end, when she was about to buy the piano, she got a call from her friend, and her friend told her that she could have the piano for free. So at the end, she didn't have to pay anything for the piano.
Part F. Open questions. You will hear 2 questions about family life or personal choices. Each question will be spoken twice, followed by a beep. When you hear the beep, you will have 40 seconds to answer the question. You will hear another beep at the end of the 40 seconds.
Do you feel that learning about art or music is a necessary part of a good education? Why do you feel this way? Do you feel that learning about art or music is a necessary part of a good education? Why do you feel this way?
Well, first of all, I think that art in education is a very essential part of life because this teaches you to be a more flexible person in every area of your life. Let's say, for example, if you learn how to play the guitar, your mind expands and you learn about different melodies, rhythm, intonation. And when you learn about art, you learn about the history that was happening a lot of time ago, and you learn about the people that were painting and had magnificent.
Are you influenced by advertising? What makes you choose the products you buy? Are you influenced by advertising? What makes you choose the products you buy?
Sure. Well, yes, I am totally influenced by advertisement because when you're walking, you're driving your car, or you're just going somewhere, you'll see a lot of advertisement from different companies. Let's say, for example, the other day I saw an ad, and it was from a soda machine. When I saw it, I thought, oh my gosh, I want to have that soda. And I was super happy. And yeah, I'm definitely influenced, right? Because let's say whenever I want to get shoes, I buy the shoes that are the most famous ones. Let's say my favorite brand is Nike. So I love Nike because they're...
Thank you for completing the test. If you wish, you may continue and answer the following optional questions about yourself. These questions will not affect your test results. What is your native language?
Spanish.
In which year were you born?
1986.
Are you male or female?
Super male.
Thank you for calling the Versant Testing System.